Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is January 15, 2024. Howard,
Hmm.
what's going on? I hear you've been working out a lot lately. Wow, look at those muscles.
Just tell you how tiring it is to actually lift weights.
The Canadian Army called back.
They do not want me. You know, I'm good for the enemy is who I'm good for. All right, rip me through what you're seeing.
Well, last week we saw a pretty significant bounce in tech. Like the new year started with weakness in tech, like 4 days of pullback. And then last year, like we saw a significant pullback. The Nasdaq is back to new all-time highs. The leaders from last year broke out to new all-time highs. Like we're talking Nvidia,
Yeah.
a lot of the cybersecurity name like Crowd,
Yep.
new all-time highs. Meta almost back to new all-time highs after it almost 80% drawdown in 2022. I mean, this is just an epic comeback.
Not just that it was an 80% drawdown because I made some mistakes. It's that the value, like the the market cap, yeah, just the amount of money that got misdirected. So
2.2.
what is it? It's almost like $1 trillion move, more maybe.
A lot more than that, Howard. So it
Yeah.
went from 90 to 370. That's like what?
I remember hitting in the
Four
80s.
times.
Yeah, I think
So
Kramer was crying right about
one and
there.
a half trillion
$1.5 trillion head fake. That's
in
just so,
a basically a little bit more than a year, in about a year.
yeah.
Microsoft broke out now. Microsoft officially is the most valuable company in the world. They're ahead of Apple. Apple's been kind of struggling a little bit. There've been some rumors about discontinuing temporarily stopping the sales of the Apple Watch because they're infringing on
Yeah, really small company that really
Massey. I'm
stuck
I'm
up to it.
super surprised that they haven't bought Massey. If that's so important, it's like a $6 billion company. They can probably buy it for 10, but I
Like
guess
the
they don't care.
antitrust. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of weird. Everybody's kind of just the government's a wild card. So wow, look at that Massey. So Apple really stuck it to them. That's
Yeah,
not, I never even
definitely.
heard of it. So it was a $300. I've never even that's a Massimo. So that was
Yeah,
a $300 stock. Apple got stuck them. Honest to God, I've never heard of it. What's the ticker? Have you ever
Massey.
traded them?
Yeah, I found them actually, but it's not very. It's kind of thin. At least used to be thin.
Like me.
Exactly, thinning.
That's my new nickname, Massimo.
The second name, yeah.
Holy smokes, Apple stuck it to them. Well, that's interesting. That's an interesting. I didn't know it was a public company.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, the semiconductor conductors in general, they got hit pretty hard the first week, down 5%, bounced a little bit. Still, I think if they can clear this level here from last week, maybe 175, we can probably see them back near all-time highs. So in
Mhm.
general, we saw like a comeback in tech stocks, but a lot of bearish divergences, like all of those
Oh,
stocks that made new all-time highs. Their relative strength index didn't confirm that.
oh.
Small caps remain relatively weak. I mean, they fell down 4% the first week, and then last week
Mhm.
they were flat. So they sold off. So definitely it's a market breadth is kind of weak.
Uh-huh.
Seasonally, for the fourth year in the presidential cycle, it's normal really to see kind of flat, choppy market in the first 5 months of the year and
Yeah.
then very strong summer.
Okay.
So I wonder if we see something similar to that. The earnings season has just begun on Friday officially with a few big banks.
Yeah.
All of them sold off, even the ones that beat the estimates, like the JPM, Citi, Bank of America.
Uh-huh.
Also, we had Delta also sold off after earnings.
Yeah, airlines look like shit.
They missed estimates despite, much cheaper oil, right?
Yeah.
Un
Something's going on.
United Health reported sort of. So far all the earnings sort of, but it's we're at the very beginning, like the
Yeah.
most of it. And I mean, the other big news is that I think probably due to some political, uh, the worsening of the political situation in the Red Sea.
Uh-huh.
So a big spike in shipping stocks. We talked about that, but also nuclear stocks. Anything
Yeah, the
related
nuclear,
to nuclear,
uranium,
just
anything with a uranium in it.
yeah, anything with uranium.
URNM, obviously, but
Yeah, yeah, that's the ETF.
NXE,
And then CCJ is the big Canadian
CJ
one, right?
Camco, yeah,
And then
NXE.
oh, okay, I guess I don't know. So new all-time highs for them continues to make, which is very weird because it's a very, I think it's a business with very predictable revenue and earnings, but
Right.
the market is willing to pay much higher multiple for
Holy
whatever.
smokes, they're paying 50 times for uranium. Wow, that's a total
Yeah,
momentum. And yeah, well, good. Congrats to the people that got that cycle right. It was well done. I think you'll see a lot of people chasing it, but these are like commodity
I
type
mean they
things.
basically doubled since last May, which is
Yeah,
very significant for a commodity, considering most of the other commodity stocks have been kind of struggling.
yeah.
And so it's been all about nuclear and also coal. We talked about coal a couple weeks ago, that is holding really strong. But interestingly, solar continues to be very, very weak.
Huh.
Just
Yeah, we talked about that maybe strengthening, but it never
brief
happened.
bounces, keeps getting sold off. And look at the volume. I mean, they're getting sold off on pretty significant volume.
Interesting. With First Solar?
For solar, it's just looking like crap. I mean, basically,
Okay. Yeah, so they were looking like they may, with rates. Okay, that's interesting. Hmm.
It needs to start trading above its 200-day, but it's already kind of below a declining 200-day,
Yeah,
getting rejected. So that's why I'm saying it needs to go back above 180 to talk about even considering it on the long side.
interesting.
And oh, let's talk about I mean, Bitcoin was kind of, buy the rumor, sell the news event last week when all of
Yeah.
those spot Bitcoin ETFs were approved. And then anything that was going up because of that Bitcoin trade sold off. MSTR, I think they own 190,000
Oh, that's a nasty reversal.
Bitcoin. So they're probably, I think they're trading at a like a billion discount right now if you just calculate the price of Bitcoin times so the Bitcoin that they own.
Right.
But this is
Ooh,
not the way the market. Obviously,
it's a
coin, big pullback in
huge.
coin, um, and
Yeah.
all the crypto miners. It's normal. I mean, they
Yeah.
this is
I
so
remember
typical.
I bought that at 20, sold some at like 30. People were laughing, and then I sold the rest at 23. Now it's below 20. Huh. There was a lot of trades that just, it's
Yeah,
interesting. There was a
it can
lot of
run
hot money. There
it
was a
can run
lot of hot money.
markets, which is normal. I mean, anytime you see something that goes up 100% in a month or two, of course you're going to see a 50%
Yeah.
pullback at some
Yeah.
point. It's completely
Yeah.
normal.
Yep.
And obviously, anything else that's kind of related to crypto, like Square is also pulling back, and
Yeah.
PayPal. I mean, I
PayPal
guess,
relatively though is stronger than
yeah,
Square.
if they
Yeah.
can go back above the
I
200,
own a little bit of PayPal right now.
like
That's my
above
spec.
64, 65, they'll look interesting on the long side.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's kind of,
Well, it's my spec fintech right now.
yeah.
Right around here. I mean, to me, it's still like a Shopify, Google, like Facebook for sure. I think they definitely miss that because I
Yeah,
don't
all
use
the
that.
e-commerce plays bounce back to all-time highs. You mentioned
Yeah, it's not,
Shopify.
it had that weakness at the beginning of the year, and I think the relative strength here in the sell-off last week is interesting.
Yeah. Amazon, also Mercado Libre, big
Google,
bounce.
Google kind of Google just when you gave up is starting to. I mean, I'm lost. My big Google Shopify, my biggest positions. I'm still underweight stocks, but
Yeah, it's
the
looking really constructively here at Google.
Gemini. All I hear is Gemini. This is the year of you know, AI is coming. I don't know if like how you make money quite yet, other than the
Well,
semiconductor.
NVIDIA.
But I was just saying, other than the semiconductors, so Michael Parekh, who I always talk about, and I was just talking to him tonight, really think this is still another big year for AI. Um, so, Apple lost the first round of this, and Gemini is going to be the winner for a while. Um, but Apple ain't going to go away because once they go small AI, which is like with for your iPhone and for your Android, Google, Apple are still going to be there. Um, but it's kind of been a year of the unmagnificent seven so far. Um, there's a lot of tech stocks under the radar that are doing well, including semiconductors. But I don't know, the divergences you talk about, I've been seeing, Jace, the all-time highs kind of peaked in November, December. So there are the divergences. I think, looking for new positions right now after some of these runs. Want to look for good setups. But I think that I was looking today. I wrote about 4 months ago. We started talking about the outperformance of cyber stocks here on the show.
Yeah,
They've had good runs, so it's just like they've had 20 to since we started talking about it in
yeah.
September, October.
Significant move. Yeah.
They were holding up and then they took off. So I think e-commerce, there's just nobody left, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Plan W, they had such a big week. I mean,
yeah.
like
And hack,
15%.
even the ETF's up 25% since then, hack.
Yeah.
So, don't expect these things to keep going. They're not cheap, but at the same time as AI, it's obviously they're the big beneficiary of AI because, you've got all these machines talking to each other. Chaos can ensue. And so cybersecurity becomes, just an important winner in this. I remain bullish, right? Peace. No one's thinking about peace. I think this still remains a year of peace.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't know, the divergences, like you said, I'm just between between uh, between that and the lack of
I
confirmation of
mean,
new.
for me, divergences mean that it's very likely that we are in a choppier tape than we
Yeah,
were at the end of last year, which means that we'll see a larger number of failed breakouts and
yep.
failed breakdowns. And
Yeah, if
especially
you try and
now,
anticipate like we were in solar, you can get chopped out.
yeah,
When you start playing, or when you start playing like my, you start speculating on the minors and they reverse. It can be very painful, like when there's divergences, because everything looks great and then it gets nasty. So you really want to be careful of your setups. Pick companies with great setups, but also real numbers
yeah,
behind
with
them.
strong reactions to earnings as well, which you'll see
Yeah,
this season. Because I think last year was price action was all about market expectations of what the
yeah.
Fed is going
Everybody
to
was
do,
bearish. So yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like the market didn't care that much about earnings because earnings they just show the past. The
yeah,
market was paying much more attention to inflation number and what the Fed is going to say. And
yeah,
now that it's clear that the Fed is done raising, and it's very likely that they'll probably cut a little bit right before the elections, the market is very likely to pay much more attention to actual earnings. That's why it's important to watch this quarter how the market is going to react to those earnings because we might see much more pure reaction than what we saw last year when the market didn't care about earnings. That's why we saw so many companies missing estimates and going up or just gapping up, like P&W. If you remember, they kind of missed estimates, they gapped down, and they quickly recovered in 3 days to all-time highs and just continued higher, just because the market was just saying the Fed is going to improve the liquidity, and that's all that matters in public
right.
markets, the major driving force. But maybe this year earnings will matter more.
Yeah. The Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, like I said, I think the key takeaway here is like don't chase because of the divergences and the lack of momentum. But there's good rotation. I think people are
Strong
still
interpretations, yeah.
people are still a little too bearish. and a little underweight stocks. But if you were just a little patient, you were like worried about missing Bitcoin, you can buy Coinbase 30% off last week's high. I'd like to see it under 100 again, or just really get the fear out.
Mhm.
Um, and But man, I mean, if you want, we're right back to the 200-day moving average with speed right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bounce. So let's see what the pin action is like this week. Short week. It's good to get back into. Ooh, and that looks great. Intuitive surgical.
Surgical raise guidance. I'm not into it. I
That's
search.
okay. So there is strength out there, and this is a
Yeah, yeah,
great
definitely.
company.
Healthcare, which is kind of defensive in a way, but near all-time highs. They report earnings this week, but they already raised estimates.
Digested like 3 years of gains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
near
that
all-time
looks
highs. So
fantastic. That's just a great company, and they'll
look at
benefit
this,
from AI
Howard,
too.
from basically 1 to 360. I mean,
They do it's a robot for surgery.
yeah, what was the Da
128
Vinci,
billion
Da Vinci
dollar Da
system,
Vinci.
Leonardo, yeah.
Yeah,
And
the Da Vinci. Anyways, here's the thing. Innovation is just
it's
despite
incredible. I mean, did you see some of the videos from the CES? I mean,
it was cool. I shared some. Yeah, there's some cool shit.
yeah, I watched a machine, like a $20,000 machine that can turn air, humid air into water. That say
Uh-huh.
they can generate 110 gallons of clean water every day.
Wow.
Yeah, some
Uh,
pretty insane stuff there. Another company that I wanted to mention real quick. I mean, obviously not high tech. Prox, they also raised
hmm.
guidance last week, and
What's their market cap? What's their market
I'm
cap is?
watching them for a potential 6 billion. I'm watching them for a
Oh, shoot.
potential
They could do a
breakout.
lot of acquisitions. So yeah, I mean, you know, $6 billion market cap, they can do a lot of acquisitions.
Yeah, Lulu has been pulling back for whatever reason. Probably it will test its 50-day.
A lot of competition. I mean, it's just not going to be clear sailing, it's still a great company. But it's trading at 40 times earning for a mature, how many more Lulu stores do we need? And there's Voari and Alo. It's just everybody's competing. But yeah, they continue to execute. The market keeps expanding for this stuff. But the law of large numbers here. What's the market cap? Is it at 800 billion? Yeah, where's that?
58 billion.
$60 billion. Huh.
Comparing it
Anyway,
to any
really
tech company.
fascinating.
Oh, I think we definitely should talk about Tesla a little bit before we
Sure.
close it because it's out of the Mach 7 is the weakest one. It's been making new lows, broke out. Like currently, the average buyer since its low, since its last year, October low, it's underwater.
Yeah.
It's below that average volume
It
weighted
looks
price.
heavy. It's spread pretty thin mentally, it feels like.
And
Um,
then we saw this weekend, Elon Musk is saying that if he doesn't own at least 25% of the company, he has no incentives to work on AI and robotics under
Hang on,
Tesla.
what was he saying?
That's what exactly what he said. That if
No, what did he say? Sorry, I missed that.
he said if he doesn't own at least 25% of the company, he does not want to develop AI and robots under Tesla.
So he's throwing his own shareholders under the bus by saying that?
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't understand
He's
that. Like, it's his
negotiating with
fault he
the
doesn't
with the
own
board
Twitter. I don't get it. It's his fault he doesn't own Twitter. He's been selling shares to buy Twitter. I don't even understand that nonsense. Where did he say that on Twitter?
on Twitter. Yeah, just
Oh,
go under his replies and stuff, his comments.
man, he makes no fucking sense. It's just he shits on. I mean, it's he shits on his own people. You know, it's just such terrible behavior. But whatever. He's got his fans. The company is amazing. I think the problem here, Ivan, is the
It's
price of
the
the
only
car.
EV that actually stands a chance right now to be massively adopted, and it is. Tesla Y is the best-selling vehicle in the entire world for 2023.
Tesla was.
Tesla Y.
Yeah, it's still 3 times market cap of Toyota with like a quarter of the sales.
Yeah, I mean Japan
Yeah,
and India, as you mentioned, I mean they've been breaking out at the beginning of the year, and Toyota is
India MMYT is kind of one of my positions I've been talking about for. Oh
yeah,
yeah, Toyota looks great.
this
Interesting.
MMYT new all-time
Probably
highs.
my favorite setup, and it's based on travel in India.
Auto you
But
mentioned all-time
oh
highs
wow, Toyota,
almost.
beautiful.
So yeah.
If I was going to pick a car, I would pick. If I was going to pick an auto stock, I'd take Toyota over Tesla. But I wonder where Mercedes is trading to.
So let's
Um,
check what was it? Daimler?
I forget.
Daimler should it should show up here. Why isn't it showing? Let's try with Mercedes. Okay, Mercedes.
That's okay.
Here you go. So it's
Yeah,
not doing that well on a weekly. I
yeah,
mean, kind of,
yeah.
let's see, daily,
But these guys aren't just
below
going
the
to concede
200-day moving average. I mean, they pay large dividend, right? What,
large dividend. They're not going to concede to Tesla,
7%?
right? Like Tesla's winning, but it's an expensive car. The resale is like plummeting, and so people are going to get beat. Anyways, it's just a war. I just feel like my friend Rom, who I work with, it just thinks the EV bubble is burst. It's just too many players, too much product, kind of like the railroads. Well, they'll be around forever, but
Mhm.
there's better ideas elsewhere, right? Margin wise, um, momentum wise. Just everybody stares at Tesla all day, and I don't know why, but
It'd
that's
be
just what
interesting to
happens.
see if those vertical
Yeah, this is my friend's
helicopters
company.
do
Both
something this year.
Joby's,
So far, nothing really.
yeah,
Uh,
nothing yet. Uber for airway, Uber for
yeah.
travel, but it's on my list, but there's nothing
And
to point.
China remains super weak. I mean, most of China
Mhm.
just continue to get pummeled. Here you go. You have Baidu breaking down. You have Baba. Currently, I think the most valuable Chinese stock, I think, I mean, I might be wrong, is PDD, which is like ridiculous. It's like the US version will be like having Overstock being worth more than Amazon, but
Yeah,
$220 billion company
yeah.
selling
If
crap.
your best ideas are in China right now, you're not working hard enough. There's enough working, like that
Yeah.
intuitive surgical and the medical stocks,
Yeah.
some biotech. You guys got to do the work, you
I mean,
know.
biotech, obviously, very strong start of the new year.
Yeah, Amgen broke out to all-time highs.
All of them. I mean, Moderna tried to break out above 200-day, getting rejected. But yeah, Amgen, even Illumina, which has been a big dog,
Yeah,
has been
yeah.
trying to bounce. So
XPO is what I own. Okay, everybody, have a great week. Lots. I think we'll have a lot more clarity next week with
yeah,
more.
once we see a few reactions to earnings. All right, see you next week. Thank you, Howard.
All right, everybody.